TheRantCast. All right, we are back. It's the Rantcast podcast, and you've been listening to a custom music track created using AI with Suno.com, lyrics by TheStrangeBus. I'm Kurgan here tonight with my co-host StrangeBus. He's here. We're live on twitch.tv/the Rantcast podcast. And as always, you can check out The Strange Bus on twitch.tv/The Strange Bus. Also, check him out on YouTube. And you can catch my stuff on twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. I know we've been gone for a while, but we're hoping to come back here very shortly this weekend, if at all possible. Also, XSC3, Home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube. And you can check out past episodes of the Rantcast podcast on Spotify.com under the Rantcast podcast. So, StrangeBus, you can join when you're ready.
Rantcast.
Okay, now was that real or was that simulated?
No, that was me, bro. That was all me.
Oh man, oh man. Okay, well let's get our screen here, and oh, it's all messed up. So they have this
That's
new
all.
Discord OBS integration thing, and it's driving me a little bonkers. Just a little.
Was it working when we tested it?
Yeah, it's just that I can see a video of you and it's like covering up what I'm trying to look at. Which,
Whoops.
wait a minute. Oh, I can drag it around. Okay. Nope. No, I can't. It's like never mind. You can't see what I'm seeing, but hey, Bohemius. So Bohemius is here. Rob Champ is here. Luca Rocks. Welcome, guys. I just got to move some things around so I can see what I'm doing.
All I see is "Give me strength" on the screen. I mean, I guess that sums up what you were wanting to talk about. Oh lordy, give me strength.
Yep. Joe, say it ain't so. Episode 74. All right.
Oh man.
Yep. So we got some topics tonight. But first,
Do it all on my camera.
yeah. But first, let's do a little catch up. We've been not the condiment, but just how have you been? How have you been doing?
I have been okay. I mean, I'm living.
Yep.
I went through some, I guess, the loss of a family member on my wife's side, so we've had some pickup to do.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
So kind of going through a little bit of that, but and that's I don't know. We'll kind of be at least I'll be kind of on and off, just due to that, and I've got like kid commitments and stuff that we've got to kind of pick up with things kind of going on through the summer and whatnot.
Oh, I'm losing you.
How you doing?
Oh, now you're back.
You back?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was adjusting my mic. That the cord is like super tight. So,
Well, we're talking about.
I mean, I guess I would. But
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you on the show. It's good to have you. I can definitely hear you when talking about personal loss. Yeah, I had a death in my family as well, and I know a couple other people who have had deaths in their family, and it's like, yeah, it's rough. I mean, I know people die every day, but when it's somebody you know, somebody you love, care about, yeah, it hurts. No matter what you believe, it hurts. So, do what you got to do.
yeah, and I mean, just like I said, it's just busy, all around.
Yeah.
I mean, just with all this and the family commitments and stuff, it's just been
Hmm.
something that, like, I guess I'm kind of glad that I'm taking the time for, you know.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I do this for a hobby. This is my relaxation. This is my outlet for creativity.
yeah,
This is not supposed to be work. So if it ever gets too stressful to try to do that and what I've got to do, my obligations, that comes first, and this goes by the wayside, and then we come back when it's a good time. That's just how it is. Well, yeah, I've been doing all right other than that. Keeping busy. I'm getting still getting ready for Gen Con. I've been painting up a storm, getting real excited about this Warhammer 40,000 doubles tournament that I'm entering for the convention. A friend of mine talked me into doing it, and it's like, dang, you could really get sucked into this as a hobby, but it's a little too expensive for my blood. But I have enjoyed painting this orc army, and I figure long after the tournament's over, I got lots of crap that I can use to play games with and use in creative ways. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, July 30th will be here before I know it, and several of the
Yeah,
guys
man.
are going to be going. So we might be meeting some people from Yield Inn. Of course, we got people like Angus and Rob Champ are going to be there. Ash is supposedly going to be there. It's like we don't know if
Ooh.
he'll be in disguise or not, but you know, only one of us is getting thrown out of the convention. It's not going to be me. No, just kidding. No, well, I'll be like, nice to meet you. But if he brings the Hulk hands, I can't say what's going to happen. No, it'll be cool. Um, yeah, you always wonder. You talk to people online. It's like you actually meet them in person. And you're just like, are we going to hit it off, or going to just be like, no, we're just going to go our separate ways. But hey, at least I can say, hey, good job. It's nice to meet you. Here's some swag. We don't know if Joe Manganiello is going to be there, but maybe after this episode of the Rantcast podcast, he won't want he won't want to be there. He'll be in disguise.
Mhm.
Are we ready for our topics? 'Cause I got some topics.
Let's shoot, man.
Oh man.
Let's go.
Yep. So as you may have guessed from the chat, oh man, there's I got to fix the chat.
You
Sorry
mean
guys.
the Crypt of Perpetual Nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
As Ash has stated and everybody. Look, I don't know what all the badness is about. You're gonna have to lay this out for me because last
Oh,
I heard, people were expecting the Crypt of Perpetual
listen.
Darkness, and we were kissing the toes of Mr. Manganiello here for a minute.
Yeah. It's
Now I saw on my feed from was it AshQuest or
Yep.
whatever,
Amalgamash.
one
Yeah.
of his channels. He was talking about how possibly lame it was.
Yeah.
So
It's such a drama thing, and see, like Amalgamash and AshQuest is his gaming channel that's focused on HeroQuest. He plays a good game. This guy knows how the game is played, and he sometimes does the sort of clickbaity titles, but he quickly catches it and kind of like twists it around. And so I mean, he's got a point, and it's funny because I was telling StrangeBus this before we started. A lot of AshQuest stuff, like I'll listen to what he says, but I'll be doing something else. Like I'll be in the background, I'm kind of half listening to what he's saying, and it's like, okay, yeah, that was cool. Well, for this last one that he did on the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, the new HeroQuest expansion that's coming out, I was like paying like really close attention. And he would say stuff, and I would start to like hear that meme voice in my back of my mind, like, well, actually, and I'd be like, well, actually, and it's like, okay, okay, shut up, just listen to the guy, listen to the man, hear him out. I think he does a really good job of sort of addressing uh, the criticisms, the sort of negativity in the community of HeroQuest, and he kind of shuts it down. But then he comes back around, and he kind of is like, oh well, you kind of did have a few good points there. And I will say it once again, he definitely tries to see the positives, and when he turns it back around and starts to go hard negative on something, I'm like, dang, like they must have really screwed up to set him off. Because I don't think, I mean, some people definitely like have sort of a theatrical reaction to things. It's sort of like part of the game. Like people say that about Nerdrotic. Like they say, "Oh, he's just saying that because it gets clicks." He's overdoing it on purpose as entertainment. Like, okay, that's not what he really thinks, or he's not really that upset about it. I don't know. I don't really care about that so much, but I definitely feel like, Ash is saying what he thinks. So I share a lot of what he's been saying and what other people have been saying. From the beginning, I was like, who is this guy? Who is Joe Manganiello? I've never heard of him before. I don't know who he is. And it's like, okay, people showed me his work, and it's like, okay, all right, he was the bully in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I wouldn't want to fight me either. you know, but like I haven't seen Magic Mike. I don't watch Critical Role. I'm not into D&D. I never watched True Blood or How I Met Your Mother, so I didn't know
Oh,
who
you
he
never
was.
watched True Blood?
Nope, never did.
That's
Never
where I
did.
know him from. Is because I
Uh,
used to watch it with.
well,
Yeah.
point is, he did everybody a favor. Like he was a celebrity endorser of the HasLab HeroQuest campaign. Like we've said this before. And I guess my first thought was, we don't need this guy. We don't need celebrity endorsements. Just make the product and it stands on its own. Why do you need some, TV guy to go, "Hey, look at me. I'm an actor and I endorse this product." Like, who cares?
Hey, look at
Well,
me. I'm a fucking actor.
like AVGN. Yeah. Uh Yeah, it's like, well, the guy has I've seen a few things now that he's done, like spots. He was on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he talked about HeroQuest, and it's like, okay, he's obviously getting paid to do it, but he seems to have a little bit of fun with it. Like he cares a little bit at least. I don't know if he cares a lot, but he seems to care at least a little bit. And I have no doubt that he actually wrote those 10 quests. He didn't just have a ghostwriter do it. Like, it just seems like these were written by a regular guy, like not a professional game designer. Now I know he's done some stuff, but as far as I understand, he was working with the artist Max Dunbar. Max Dunbar was a
Okay.
guy, I don't know his history prior to this, but Avalon Hill basically hired him to do most of the art for the new HeroQuest. And so when you see like the cover art, that's his work. Um, so the dragon that Joe Manganiello did, that was in the HasLab campaign, that was designed by Max Dunbar. So it's like, okay, Joe didn't, create it, but I mean, he told the guy what he wanted, and the guy did it. It looked awesome. So Joe has definitely done some things for the community, and I just assumed this was going to be a fire and forget kind of thing. Like he shows up, they get a little bit of extra money, and then he goes away. Well, the piece of unfinished business in the whole pie was this Crypt or Perpetual Darkness, this final stretch goal on the HasLab campaign. They were supposed to raise $4 million. They didn't get. I think it was like 3.6 million or something. So they didn't make it. He even says, Joe says this in a video. He says, "Well, I convinced my friends at Hasbro to release it anyway. So it was part of the package. So added value, that's cool. Of course, for all we know, they printed them up already and it was too late. Like they're gonna have to throw them in the trash, so they just put it out there. I don't know the real story, but if we take him at his word, take him at face value, he made the big deluxe set even better. And for a long time, our good friend and Carmine Chris Nato, formerly of Avalon Hill, now with Tops, he had always said, "Well, our goal is to get this into retail as quickly as possible." And the proprietary, as Joe called it. We made fun of him because he said proprietary like 10 times in the video. Um, Chris was saying, and Carmine was saying, all that proprietary stuff, we're going to try to get as much of it out into retail as quickly as we can. Like, that's the goal. And the scalpers are going to be really mad and it'll be great. And I was like, good. Well, that's good. Because my thought was, okay, I've looked at these quests, I've played them, they're okay. They're not super amazing or anything. They're okay. They've got some cute ideas, but I mean, it's the kind of thing that you would make like as your first quest book. It's not like, you've been writing them for 30 years and this is your magnum opus or anything. No shade on that guy. I'm sure he's great in D&D, which is more his forte. But I was pleased because he followed up and it's like, I want my stuff to come out. And not only that, but I want it to come to retail. Because the last thing that Carmine was telling us before he unfortunately was let go by the company when they did their layoffs was, well, it's all going to come out except for maybe this one part. Like, we're not sure. That's up to Joe. And then towards the end, he was saying, well, it's probably not going to happen. I think he even said that at Gen Con. It's probably not going to happen. You can listen to the video to see what his exact words were, but it was something to that effect. And it was like, oh, shoot, that's too bad. And I thought, well, we're not missing out that much, but I feel bad for all the people that really wanted it, that wanted to complete the package, but now they can't afford it because the best thing they can do is pay for like a really, upcharged version on eBay. So the Dragon's coming out. Um, Joe's quests, Joe's special tiles, because he had special tiles for his quest. Like the other ones didn't. They just used the regular assets from the game. It's like, oh, here's just some more adventures using the same assets. It's like, no, he has new assets for his. It was special in that way. So I'm glad for that Joe came back and whatever he did, signed on the bottom line or the time expired and said sure. And not only that, but he actually went on TV and promoted it. Regular TV. That was weird to see somebody on regular TV talking about HeroQuest and how great it was. Like you don't see that. It's like, oh, some obscure game that people talk about online. That's it. Well, so I guess my respect for the man grew through this whole thing because I'm thinking like he actually did something for us. He did something good. Now the disappointment starts to set in because we've already had two installments of these mythic proprietary stretch goal HeroQuest packages. And they definitely went out of their way to make them special. Like you don't just get the extra monsters, you get more of the extra monsters. They're not just the standard colors; they're like special colors. So they had the translucent plastic. They gave you the special dice, the green, jade dice, basically. Um, they corrected the errors in the booklet. They gave you a holographic cover. I mean, it looked like a deluxe set. It wasn't just repackaged. But the great thing was they could use the same molds for the figures, and they just have to change the text, on the cards, update it and everything. And they can use that time and that savings of money to develop the next big box expansion that does have new stuff. So you get your Rise of the Dread Moon, you get your Jungles of Delthrak, packed with content. And so these mythic releases kind of serve to kind of anchor everybody, tide you over until the next big one, big deluxe set. So it builds that goodwill. Well, anyway, you got those two installments, and so they were filled with stuff. And so we're thinking, oh, Joe's pack is going to be along those same lines. We're going to get a bunch of miniatures, including the dragon, and then the tiles and the cards and the booklet. Well, turns out we didn't. They've shown it UK Games Expo. They actually opened the box. Doug was there. Tess Hogan was there. Patrick O'Rourke was there. They're all, a bunch of happy nerds, standing out there proudly. He had a cloth. He pulls the cloth off and it's like, here it is. Well, what you see is you've got the dragon, of course, but that's the only plastic miniature in the box. It's still $34.99 or $33.99. I think it's $34.99. So it raised $1. Inflation, tariffs, whatever it is. But you look at the box and there's a lot of empty space, like that they could have put stuff in. And so it's like, why? So my burning question when I go to Gen Con, they know this. So Doug's gonna have to like drink a bunch of coffee because he knows I'm coming. It's like security, don't admit that guy. Don't let him in. Well, if it's not me, it's gonna be somebody else. Somebody else is gonna ask Patrick, why? What was the
Right.
reason they did this? Was it an economic thing? Was it a budget thing? Were they going to have to charge us $60 for this, and that's why they did it? Are all their miniature machines in China, and that's why? Because it felt like they were trying to fill the box with other stuff, like stuff that was cool, but not stuff people asked for. Here I'm like repeating Ash in his video. Check him out on YouTube. Um, Stuff we didn't ask for, but it's stuff that was cool, stuff that really doesn't matter, but it's just like giving us like secondary good stuff. So we got holographic foil on the cards. There's a brand new art style in the cards, which not everybody likes because it's very jarringly different style than like the regular card art for HeroQuest. There's a pad of character sheets. It's like, well, you don't really need that, but okay, you've got one, and it's got a new design. and there's a little rubber boot that you can put on the bottom of the dragon, which doesn't really stabilize it because people complained about it falling over, being too top heavy. But now you've got that. And so it's like, okay, well, Ribby's Remarkable Rims are coming to HeroQuest officially because that was the whole thing. Like you put the little boot on the bottom of the figure so you can say, okay, this is a special character, even if you haven't painted it special, you know. But they only give you one, so it's not like you could have like a, all these mercenaries belong to the wizard because they have the same color, which I'd like to see that in the next one. But anyway, they put that in there and they gave us some dice. Okay, they gave us the 6 combat dice, black dice, which look cool because they've got white symbols on black, um, and those are really cool. Um, but they were like, okay, not only do you get 6 dice, you actually get 2 more dice. So you got movement dice that are black and white. And Ash was saying, oh, these are so plain, these are so dull, they're so boring. I don't know. I disagree. I think, oh man, I got to get caught up with these comments. Yeah,
I'm about to say Bohemians is really giving you some points there, bud.
yeah. Well, so the thought was this is kind of a disappointment because they were leading us to believe by setting the bar so high with these other releases that we were going to get something similar to it. And then the other thought was, okay, back to Incarming's comment about getting those proprietary pieces out to the public. Well, there's several figures that are on the list that they could have put in the package. There was room for them. There was like 7 more miniatures. They were exclusive, but they didn't put them in there, and they could have. Why not? So, all right, let's go to comments. Let's go to comments. Okay. You kissed Joe with
Some
that
people are
mouth.
saying the dice is good.
Okay, there we go. See? All right. Luke Rock says, we literally just got most of these cards in first light. Now I have to buy them again. Bad decision. Well, to that I would say this. So I think I should start showing some visual aids while we're talking. Okay, that's not the one. Although that image that you're seeing right there, that is a giveaway figure. The figure on the right is this green sorcerer. Um, I don't know if that'll be at the convention or not, but yeah, at the previous convention, people were getting this. So UK Games Expo and also not Luca, Bologna Play. People were getting it, and it's the same sculpt as the one you get in the box. Okay, so here's the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness retail. So on your screen there, they put out one picture that had black dice with red pips. That's not correct. That's an error. But the yeah, StrangeBus, it's on you. I can move it to the side if it's getting in your face, in your face.
Oh wait,
Yeah, you got to put your hands on your head like you're shocked. Yeah, it's the meme clickbait. Okay, so there's Crypt of Perpetual Darkness in the app. Okay, so this will just be background while we're talking. Okay, so the comments here, you kissed Joe with that mouth. Okay, so to Luca Rox's comment. So in the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, there's only 3 new cards that are like new to HeroQuest, assuming you don't have the Mythic tier. The Oil of Acid Immunity, the Dragon Spear, and the Crown of Shadows, which are all used in this quest book, and you can put them in your own adventures. The rest of the stuff is stuff you already have. Like if you have any HeroQuest, you have it already. So the Battle Axe, you've already got the Battle Axe. But the thing is, it's the Battle Axe with the crazy new art. So you've got the regular Battle Axe card, and now you've got this crazy art version, like 90s metal cartoon poster of the Battle Axe. And the same thing with the Holy Water, and the same thing with Potion of Restoration. Like you've got all these just one-offs. So if you don't like the art style, you could just throw them in the box, and you've still got that card in theory. If you've got any of the other expansions. Now the dice the same way. You don't like the black dice, you don't use the black dice, but you could use them if you want to. It's the same distribution of symbols. Like when I see the black dice, I think of like the specialty power dice that we use, where there's like an extra skull and one less white shield, so they're better for attacking. They're like, deluxe bonus dice. But I just like the contrast. And why did you need a holographic cover? You don't, but it's cool. It looks cool. But you think each of these features raises the price a bit, right? Why didn't they just, if they were only going to give us the dragon, the booklet, and the tiles, the absolute minimum, and the cards, the absolute minimum to play this, they could have just given us an even smaller box that was like 15 bucks or something. But instead, they were like, no, 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 it's got to be the same size, it's got to be the same price point, and we'll fill it up with other stuff to reach that. So Bohemia says, maybe you don't believe it, but I agree a lot with Ash on COPD. Well, maybe so. I mean, a lot of people, so my thing with presenting these things is I certainly have my own opinion, my strong opinion about stuff. I can be swayed by other people, but I also like to present the opinions I'm hearing from other people because I know I have a platform to like evoke them. So there's definitely people that are like, this looks amazing. This looks awesome. This is just what I wanted. We should support it. There's other people are saying this is crap. The fact that they're like only giving us some things, like somebody made a big mistake. Like I would get rid of all that extra stuff. I don't need foil cards. Give me miniatures. Like that's what I want. I know some people were saying, "Oh, Joe should go back and write some new quests, some better quests." That's kind of a criticism. He should write some better quests. Like he's had time to like refine them, come up with something better. We could have had new sculpts for characters, but why not
So,
throw in an
but
extra
Joe
hero?
himself isn't personally like invested in HeroQuest though all the time.
No, he's got other stuff that he does. He's
This is
directing.
just something he wanted to,
Yeah, he's directing
you
movies.
know,
Yeah, he's in TV. So there's your there's
so
your there's your art cards. So as you can see, I I mean I look at this and I think that is fine. That could be in any like game out there. There's tons of games that have different art styles. But HeroQuest, like they've trained us to expect a certain design, and then all of a sudden they give us something wildly different. I mean, I don't mind so much that it doesn't match. Like if you have two cards next to each other that don't match, I'm thinking of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. Like if you've got a foil card, your first thought is, "Oh, that must be something special or rare or valuable," right? But then I guess you look at it and it's like, "Oh, it's just a potion of restoration." Well, okay, but it's a special version of the restoration. Like I don't know. Oh, there's a spoilerific picture of the first quest. We didn't notice any real changes there, but quest one was pretty decent. Like it didn't have a lot of mistakes. Let's get that over to the side there. Okay, so other comments. Yeah, the point is it's a reprint. Get it out there, get it into people's hands, let people have it. Um, Luke Rock says, give us just one exclusive mini, a Minotaur skeleton or other character in there. Yeah, and I would say that too, but I was always saying like, no, don't design new stuff because that costs money. Like just you can put all your new stuff in the form of text, right? But then they kind of reversed it. They went around and they hired Max Dunbar to create new artwork. It's like, okay, that wasn't free. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. So unless they just had it laying around from last time. So I don't know. But maybe it was cheaper to design new cards than it was to, make new sculpts because they got to create those expensive molds for the figures because these are mass produced. Bohemia says no. New miniatures on small boxes, that is the rule. Only reprinted assets. Well, could be. I mean, unless you're talking about the hero collections, those are new. Rob says, could they game traded paying max to the cards for the minis? Could they game traded paying max? Oh, maybe. See, there's another theory, and I think Ash downplayed this himself, and I don't know. I don't know. I could imagine it either way. Did Joe Manganiello charge like a fee? Did Max Dunbar like was he more expensive than some other artists? Of course, maybe they thought, after the whole Clark Mitchell debacle, we got to hire the best. We can't just go with some guy that's really cheap. You know. No offense to Clark Mitchell, but uh, not for HeroQuest, not for his AI nonsense. Okay, Bohemia says, not true, Kurgan. You ask so many times about the character sheets, they put them. It's your fault. It's not my fault. They told me they
Not
fixed
my
it.
fault.
I like the dice a lot, actually. Well, yeah, if you want my opinion, I don't have a problem with the character sheets. They're fine. Okay, I like the way the dice look. The black movement dice are fine. They're great. They're good even. Um, my thing is, I would have traded some of those things if it were just a matter of if by getting rid of those we could have more character miniatures in the box. I would have gone with that. Like I would have rather gotten those. So that's my take on it. Maybe they were restricted. Maybe there's some other reason we don't know about that they
Hmm.
had to say no to that. And so to make up for it, they did this other stuff. I don't personally think, unless they're really misjudging their audience, that they said, well, we know people don't want those exclusive figures. We know people don't want more monsters. So let's put character sheets in instead. Let's put black dice in instead. Like I doubt that was their thought process. Unless it was imposed on them from above. But my thought is the Avalon Hill guys have a pretty good grasp on what people want. People want figures, first of all. People want plastic miniatures. People want dice. The rest of the stuff is negotiable, I think. I mean, yes, people were saying, those holographic cards, they look great. I like those. I really want those. I'm going to treasure them. But I think if you ask most people who buy this stuff, there's the picture. Most people that buy this stuff are going to uh, want more of what I'm talking about. So there's a picture of the box. I think that's Bohemius. Was that yours? If not, I apologize. But somebody put that up. Or was it Hispazargon? I can't remember. One of you guys did that, and it was like that's spot on because you can see very clearly there. There's plenty of space where they could have put the figures in the box. There's the little rim on the dragon, and it's gray, just like the figure. It's got kind of a metallic sheen to it. But I mean, they just could have given us more. If the other two packs didn't exist, I wouldn't have a frame of reference. I'd just be like, okay, I guess this is what we get. But because we got those other ones beforehand, they gave us a certain expectation. And to their credit, Avalon Hill hasn't come out with a bunch of excuses like, oh, we had no choice. It's because of tariffs. Oh, it's because of inflation, or oh, don't you know about this economy, or oh, they aren't doing that. They're just quiet. They're just like, here's what we did. Hope you like it. You know, and then we just have to kind of imagine it, guess it. And my thought is to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like they didn't do this to spite people. They didn't do this because they didn't understand. They must have had this limitation imposed upon them. But the question is, what's the source of the limitation? Is it temporary? Is it going to change? So more comments. Wordicon says, see, I feel like I'm crowding you out here. I'm crowding you out with the big picture. Wordicon says, seems like the majority of people that are complaining have the mythic version already. I'm happy to be able to purchase it since I wasn't able to back the crowdfund. I like the dice as well. See, there you go. Something that Doug was
I
saying.
think this is going to be kind of a
Go
small
for it.
divisive thing here as
Yeah, jump
well.
in, jump in.
Just, but I would also have to say that like maybe this is just a kind of a spur of the moment idea coming from somebody of I guess major importance. A lot of those people make spur of the moment decisions that don't always pan out the way they're supposed to be.
Hmm.
I mean, like this looks once again, it's one of those things that looks great on paper, but then when it goes into fruition, a lot of people are going to be like, "Well, I either already have this, or
Hmm.
this isn't a lot of content for the price," or I just mild examples. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And my thought is, I mean, I don't know what kind of contract they had going, but one theory was, well, Joe had carte blanche, so he could just say whatever he wanted. Like, oh, whatever I want, really? Okay, all the cards will be shiny gold. Like, all right, let's do
Yeah,
it. Okay, that's the budget,
pretty
Joe.
much.
That's it. You're done. On the other hand, if he said something unreasonable, I would think they would just override it. They'd be like, no, can't do that. But we could do this. Like they would have to compromise, right? They have to come to some agreement.
I don't know.
But
You think he had like George Lucas power though? Never know.
I don't know. I don't know. So it would be interesting to hear all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing is, as a reporter, like even if Joe was there, like would he be allowed to say, what really happened, or is that not? They're just not gonna share that with the public. Like maybe so, but I would kind of like to hear at least somebody who was involved to sit down and kind of explain it, justify it to me, defend it, you know, help me understand how you came to this position. Because I didn't say I'm not going to buy this, but I did say I'll probably wait to buy it at the convention. And I'm kind of hoping that it would come with something else, like some giveaway dice or get it signed or something like that. Because the other HeroQuest stuff, I was like day one, like I want to buy it. I didn't pre-order, but I mean I bought it like the day it came out or the week it came out. This I'm like, eh. But I'm thinking to myself also, HeroQuest is now at the point where, yes, as Doug was fond of saying, um, when they come out with these re-releases, they put stuff in purposely to try to get longtime fans that already have everything to buy it again. Like, oh, you'll get it again because we put the boot tile in, and we put some extra stuff in here, and we got some extra quality. Like you flip the board over and there's more stuff that wasn't there before. Like they're still trying to do that, but I feel like we're at this
Right.
point now where HeroQuest is popular enough that even if all the people who I don't know 100,000 people, let's say, who bought the Mythic tier like refused to buy this, they would still make their money. Like it would still be okay. Now it would kind of suck because as the I don't know the founding fans, so to speak, we can give them a lot of bad press. Like if we're all disappointed, we're going to be like talking trash about it, and that's going to cause a ripple effect. Maybe some people who would get into it will go, "Oh, it sounds like it kind of sucks now." I mean, the fans are like turning against the franchise, so they obviously don't want to completely lose us, right? But on the other hand,
Right.
just from a purely like mercenary like standpoint, they don't need us, to survive. They could still, appeal to new people.
I don't know there, Kurgan. I might disagree with you on that.
Oh, okay. You think we're
I
not
mean,
there yet?
you're saying that they don't need the hero like a good chunk of the HeroQuest fan base right now because, like I said, it's not like not. I'm not saying that it's not a big fan base, but like this isn't like I'd say you guys kind of fit in a different repertoire than like I don't know, like a big corporation like like what Disney would consider like I don't know like their Star Wars or their Mickey Mouse type category.
Hmm.
You guys are a pretty close fan base to the company, right? I think as compared to Hasbro, they probably don't think they need you. If they wanted to, they could cut the chain off. They needed to save some money.
Okay, so maybe
But
I
I
don't
think the Avalon Hill or
give
maybe
ourselves
somebody
enough
else would
credit.
probably you guys are probably considered an asset somewhere
Okay,
because they are considering your feedback, right?
that's
And all
true.
the times when we've done the Rancast, your feedback has been considered. We've actually had it in Carmine on the Rancast at least once or twice.
Yeah, I
Pop
still,
in.
I,
We've had people.
mhm.
I don't know how they view us now, but I'm going to say at one point in time,
I still owe him.
they did consider our feedback.
I still owe that man
So
a T-shirt. I'm gonna send him a Rantcast T-shirt. You hear that,
yeah, man.
Carmi? Yeah, yeah. It was great.
I wish you'd
Okay.
pop back in every now and then again, but
Yeah.
like
Well,
I know we haven't been as consistent, but like that,
yeah.
just another like we,
Well, maybe I sell us short because we can complain about something and it takes 18 months for us to see any change because just of the nature of the program. And the Guardian Knight thing was kind of a weird, not a one-off because they made a public apology for that one. Like the whole Guardian Knight thing, they made a public apology with the First Light cover. It wasn't so much of a public apology, except that they basically admitted we made a mistake. Like in interviews, it was they were okay saying, "Yep, this is not what the fans wanted. We made a mistake. We've changed it. We hope you like this better." And so it's like that's very refreshing to hear because so often I feel like companies, you say what you need to say to calm your customers down, right? But a lot of times they just double down and say, "No, you guys are wrong. We're right."
especially today, bro.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
really do tend to like they do only half of what they say they're gonna do,
right.
just enough to make it look like they're doing something. And then when people complain about it, they say, "Well, we're in the process of doing it. This could take this such and such time. You need to
Yeah.
be patient with us."
I just want
And
to
they don't do it.
I just want to feel like I'm not being jerked around. Like if you don't want my business anymore, just tell me. You know, I work in a job where I do customer service, so I understand like people will rip on me and say like, "Oh, you don't care." It's like, actually I do care. But I mean, I can't like make them believe that unless I, you know, do something that they can see, some action that says, "Oh, look, see, I'm solving your problem. See, I'm giving you, the tools you need to move forward." If I just use words, most of the time doesn't work, especially if the person's pissed off. So you just have to you have to I know that there's a certain give and take. There's a certain de-escalation that has to happen. So it's like, okay, they admit, we could have done better, and then they deliver. So I still have faith in Avalon Hill. I still have faith in the guys uh, on the team. But yeah, the question is Hasbro, yeah, limiting them more than we know? Uh,
I mean, it could be definitely that. I definitely believe
yeah,
in that.
yeah. So I think we've definitely heard. I can't say that I've heard everything, of course, because you've got the whole you've got the fans in Spain, you've got the fans in Germany, France. Like you've got all these other communities that I don't hear from unless it's through like a certain YouTuber like Cristobal LaGuardia de Morcar, Spanish. So it's like, okay, I know he doesn't speak for every fan in Spain, but he's got a really big audience. So it's like, okay, Dungeon Master, Germany. It's like, okay, again, not speaking for everyone, but he's got a voice, and it's like that kind of filters in. So it's like, okay, so we're hearing like other points of view besides just Yield In or just HeroQuest fans Discord or just Amalgamash's crowd or always bored, never boring, in the UK. So we get kind of a sampling of viewpoints. But I mean, I'm not on Instagram or X. There's other people on Reddit saying stuff. So I like to hear when people go to those communities, come back and say, "Oh, well, actually, a lot of people are saying this sucks because," and then they say it. So I know a lot of people were like, "Yes, finally, HeroQuest has a dragon. I love dragons. Dragons are so awesome. I always wanted a dragon in HeroQuest." It's like you got it. Or I wanted the Mythic tier and I could never get it, and now I can finally buy it. Yay! Or Joe Manganiello, he's the greatest guy ever, and he's finally getting the credit he deserves. Like, okay, I'm happy for you, happy for you. So I can respect that, and I'm glad to hear it. But I also hear a lot of people saying there should have been more stuff in the box. Would I have paid more to get those miniatures? Like, well, let's say they had to charge $50 and it would have more monsters in the box. Sure, I would have paid it. I mean, I paid that much for First Light, and with with First Light though, and I think Amalgamash made this point as well, so I'm just going to make it again here. At least with First Light, everyone was prepared. Everyone knew ahead of time that there's going to be a lot of cardboard in the box. They knew that the
Right.
point of this was to get normies into HeroQuest, so to speak. This was something that Target wanted, right? They wanted like a bookshelf game version of HeroQuest. And so they made those compromises. They worked within those parameters. So it wasn't like, what? All of a sudden the miniatures are cardboard. That's stupid. This sucks. This is going to ruin the whole franchise. We also understand that as franchises tend to get bigger, you get to a certain point where maybe you can't read every single Star Wars novel and watch every single TV show and play every single game. And StrangeBus is like, actually, yes, you can. Okay, not everyone can.
You definitely can. You
It,
definitely can, but
it gets
you just
harder
got to
and
have
harder.
almost zero like other time to do anything
Yeah,
else.
if you have other hobbies, if you have other responsibilities, at a certain point, some franchises they start to diverge off, and so you'll get, okay, this is Star Wars, but it's for like this age to this age. And it's like it's Star Wars, but it's only for girls, or it's Star Wars, but it's only for guys who like to do this stuff. And it's just like it starts to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get
Because
demographics. You get
it's written by people who don't have to approve or do anything else, and then it's done by
mhm,
like so it's like people who want to write Star Wars in their own vision, and it gets turned into
yeah.
slop, some like weird, sloppy, gross like McDonald's version of Star Wars that I will never touch again in my life.
And Star
Sorry,
Wars
didn't mean to get personal with that, but
and Star Wars is a hot topic and a sore subject. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I use this example when we were talking before the stream about, well, what if they released a series of steamy Star Wars romance novels? That would really appeal to certain people. Certain people
you
would
know they
really
have
love it.
done that, right? Like it's called Star Wars fan fiction.
Fan fiction, but I mean official stuff. Like
Oh,
you're
I don't know if they've done anything like that. They
you're
might
a
have included some romance in like
you're a
like
Raylo. Well, guess what? We got just the book for you. You know, you just take
let's
the
get real.
you just take this home. You draw the curtains, lock your door, and we don't need to hear about it. It's like,
You start rubbing your lightsaber up and down.
oh man, Pedro Pascal. He had an unfortunate. Anyway, we won't get into that. But yeah,
Whoa, wait, what? Wait, what?
there's a
So
video
we
of
talking
him
about?
like there's a video of him with like a toy lightsaber and he's like licking it or something in a provocative way and people are like he knew
Ooh,
what he was doing. It's like what
that's a little. Oh,
a little
that's a little wacky.
a little wacky. Yeah. So you do what you can to make your money, I guess, but it's like at a certain point you start to think to yourself, okay, Star Wars is not like to be there used to be this sense that oh I'm a true fan because I've read all the novels, I've played all the games, I own all the movies, and I rate them all 5 stars. But at a certain point, it's just like there's it's like your salad bar. You take the Star Wars you like, and it's maybe different than the Star Wars your friend likes, and there's enough Star Wars for
It didn't used
everybody.
to like. It still used to be a thing where you could pick out of the like you could still be an original trilogy guy. You could be a guy who liked the movies, all the movies. You
Hmm.
could be a guy who played the video games and watched the movies. But now it's a whole different thing. So,
And I don't think HeroQuest is
uh,
there yet. But could we imagine a day when HeroQuest is to that point where, just like with Monopoly, like they come out with Monopoly sets. There's so many of them, you couldn't possibly own them all. Yes, and there's probably somebody that does own them all, but good for that guy. But it's just kind of like there's enough so that there's something to appeal to everyone. So you have your thing that you like, you get your Monopoly that has that flavor. And so eventually you're going to get to Hero Quest and you're not going to be like, oh man, there's 187 quests I got to play in this particular order. Oh man, if I don't do that, I'm not a true fan. You're just going to be like, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of Hero Quest and I'm going to grab that one, and then I'm good, and then that's it. And somebody else is going to choose other ones. And so maybe this Joe Manganiello's Crypt of Perpetual Darkness is just meant for certain fans and not all fans. Like I hope not, but it could be viewed that way. And maybe this is like an experiment. Maybe they're taking this opportunity to say, okay, let's try some different things. Let's see if we attract more people. And if it is super successful, okay, keep going that in that direction. I personally don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's just going to be kind of a one-off thing. But I mean, what if Joe decides to come back next year and write something for them? Like, I didn't think Stephen Baker was going to come back. I thought he was retired. I thought he was just going to work on his own game, but he came back and wrote First Light. And according to an interview, he wrote even more content after that. And I guess one of those quests is going to be at Gen Con. There's going to be an exclusive, like, bonus quest that no one's seen before. It's like, oh, that's awesome. So it's like, okay, he's got some more left in the tank, you know. But for all we know, there could be a whole line of like celebrity hero quest adventures. Maybe they'll see this is a chance to bring in other people. We'll have some other celebrity doing their own quest pack. Again, I don't think so, but maybe something will happen, or maybe they're hoping something will happen. Put it out there and see what sticks.
maybe. I'm gonna go with a big maybe on that one because I don't know if this is getting received pretty nastily. You never know.
They're
Like they
gonna
might try again.
back off. I will I will say though that those the card art makes good poster material. So at the convention they showed blown up versions of the cards. Excuse me. I need some water. Hold on.
Get yourself a lozenge.
Nice. Some yummy mashed potatoes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Nice.
That was perfect. The card art blown up as like poster size looks awesome. And at the convention, when Doug was revealing all the stuff with the other Avalon Hill people, I mean, their posters behind him. I'm like, I hope they have some of those at Gen Con. Like, I'll take a few. Like, they look great. The only thing is, you put it on a card and it's like, I didn't really need that. It's not terrible. It's just unnecessary. Did it sell out already? Oh yeah, I got to get comments. So Rob, yes, the pre-orders for Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, at least in the U.S., did sell out. I don't know if they've been restocked, but they did put out a message on social media. Don't ask me which one, but it was posted in the HeroQuest fans Discord. Someone shared it, saying they basically said, "Yes, don't worry, we're getting more." And they also said that they're doing more Gen Con events, which is good as well. So they know that. I mean, none of this to me, none of this means anything because it's a retail product. It's not a limited run product. It's not limited edition like the fan roll dice. It's uh it's going to be coming, to friendly local game shops and you can buy it online. So it's not like if you didn't pre-order, you don't get it. At the same time, I know people like the pre-orders, and so it's like you pre-order something and it's like, oh, it's sold out, out of stock. It's like, oh shoot, okay. Well, they're planning to get more. I don't know when, but that was the last that I heard. Rob says he's a hunk. Say no to hunks. Trust me, comics had the influx of attracted people after the Marvel movies. Hunks and jocks are why I read comics. You have to gatekeep. Just kidding. Yeah. Well, pretty people sell products. That's true. So you get celebrities. Um, he's a very handsome man, but still, if the celebrity pointing to the product gets you to buy it, what's the harm? I mean, people said that about D&D. They said, well, you have Stranger Things. People tried Dungeons and Dragons because of Stranger Things. Or they saw Critical Role
Look,
and said, oh, that looks fun. Let me try it. Of course, the game's still got to be good.
Rob Champ says that Star Wars is 47 years old. Look, I'd like to bring an argument that Lord of the Rings is a lot older than Star Wars is.
Hell yeah.
And how long did it take for them to completely shaft that series?
Good point.
Didn't take them 40 years. It took them like a lot longer.
Yeah.
I have to say it's just something to do with like around now. Like we just
You
have to
had
package and resell and
basically took you 30 years.
oversaturate things.
So Lord of the Rings took you about 30 years to get animated versions. And there was a lot. I mean, people liked the Hobbit cartoon. The Lord of the Rings theatrical cartoon was really, a lot of people ripped into that for reasons that are obvious if you've seen it. Um, but yeah, and then the Peter Jackson movies did a great job, and then Rings of Power kind of like thrust a lot of people into the molten pit once again. Oh, by the way, today's a cheat day. This is the first time he's ever had whatever he's eating. Is that pudding?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's banana cream.
Yep. Cheat day. First time he's had this
I
banana.
actually have dinner. I actually have dinner outside, but I'm waiting until we take a break to go pick it up. So
Oh, nice. Oh,
I'm
sorry,
kind of
man.
like overeating right now.
Yeah, well, we're getting towards the end. I stretched this as far as I could. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let me get through these comments. Uh, good stuff. So yeah, the whole question of trading this for that, this for that, that is the question. There's got to be a trade-off. There's got to be a reason. There's a method behind their madness, but I just want to know what it is. I kind of have some suspicions, but to actually hear it from them would be nice. Bohemia says, for what? For some mini that we already have, extra filling that we don't need, better have extras. And if they did, which mini reprint? So honestly, I would have been fine if we just got more orcs and skeletons and mummies just in a different color. Like I was starting to see it as, what if you are not the type of person who's going to buy every expansion? What if you just buy Joe's pack and the game system? Like, okay, I've just got one extra mini. Like you would just want maybe just a handful of characters. That'd be fine. Or don't even worry about duplicates. Just give us the other mythic figures, the last seven that we didn't have. Like, what would be wrong with that? So I still see it as they could still have fulfilled their goal and given us something more interesting than what they did. Because foil cards are fine, dice are fine, pads are fine. It's all fine. We're all fine here. Thank you. How are you? But
Nothing to
it's
worry
not.
about here. Thanks. How are you?
It's not what I would have wanted. If I had been in charge of it, and I know Ash made a good joke saying like, okay, 40 extra miniatures. That's my final offer. It's like, yeah, okay, fine.
But I
But
feel
that
like that's what a lot of people say though. Kurgan is like, if I was in charge of this, this is what I would do, and I feel like
I would blow the
that's
budget
that
out.
first step to So like the downfall is like some people who take control of these franchises, they go, okay, now I'm in charge of this. This is what I'm going to do. I
Yep.
think that like a good I feel like a good approval system is great.
Compromise.
Um,
Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
like unless you are the creator of said thing, I don't feel that
Well, when you're making a
full
mainstream
creative
product.
control on something is a must.
Mhm.
But I feel like you should have control of your ideas. But like I feel like our friend Joe here had a little more pull
He might,
than um,
he might have. Yeah.
and that's just an assumption. That's not a fact. And
Right.
I'm just giving off kind of an opinion here
And how
because
cool
maybe we had some meandering.
how cool would it be if Joe was there and able to do an interview? Because first of all, we don't know if he's going to be there. Second, if he is there, we don't know if he's going to talk to us. He might not even be cleared for that.
I would be surprised if
Be
he's there
surprised. Yeah,
because one, as cool of a fantasy is, if this is the backlash that's happening and it's multiplying or getting worse.
he's gonna have to yell at us,
Um,
scold us.
well, no, I don't think he would care about the yelling. I think it would be
We're not gonna be rude to the guy.
more about the fact that I don't think he would just like. I feel like celebrities kind of have this thing where they're like, I kind of don't really have the patience for a con like this, or
Okay.
I came out here and we put the work into it and it didn't really pan out, so I don't know if I want to make the publicity to go out and do it. I'll just let it slide. They'll forget about it. They'll release an expansion. We'll move on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's got to be worth
it's
their
kind of like one
while.
of those things.
He could be making
Yeah,
lots of
so
money somewhere else. I'm sure.
it would be big if he did show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of just picture him
Maybe
just
I'm looking
walking
sleep.
by, posing for a photo, and then he's off. He's gone.
Yeah, so like I would think that if he did show up, it would be big because it means it's personal to him,
Yeah,
or he wants to save face somewhere.
I'd
But
respect that.
um, so it would be a personal thing, and he would, it mean that he's trying to save face somewhere, or he's trying to connect on a deeper level with people on this. So like if he ever does get back into this, it wouldn't be to make the same mistake. But in my opinion, I don't think he'll
Yeah,
go unless it's on the card.
won't hold our breath. Yeah, he has not been mentioned. Okay, so let's see. Other comments talking about it selling out. Oh, COPD isn't sold out. Okay, so Rob is saying it's not sold out. They just changed the
So
cover.
come get your COPD.
Yeah, you're gonna get COPD thinking about COPD. Uh, so Bohemia says that the choices to present the product in this way were all extremely logical, and I appreciate that. Who cannot see it now will get it netter in the future. I think they avoid a lot of it drama this way. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, listen to LaGuardia de Morcar and Hispazargon. They were, you could tell, especially Hispazargon, he was very disappointed. Like those guys were getting really hyped up for this. Like this is the last box that's gonna have all the mythic stuff in it. This is wrapping up into an eat bow, and then it's just like, oh, you only got one thing. I know it's not just one thing, but I mean, they had speculated for, months and months about all this stuff. And so there's definitely a lot of fans who are disappointed. And I don't think they're wrong to be disappointed. I think there was definitely not a promise, not a guarantee, but there was a certain expectation that this was going to be better than it was. And we would like to know why they had to do the compromise. I mean, maybe it won't make it any better, but just to say, hey, this was their only choice. Their hands were tied. This is what they did, and they'll make it up to us next time. It's like, okay, fine, sure, that'd be all right. Hey, Gold Public. Okay, so next, yeah, Star Wars is 47 years old. You had an excellent point, StrangeBus. I agree with that. Bohemia says, do you know Avalon Hill named the four First Light heroes? I'm sending pictures on SB Discord now. Ooh, oh, I didn't know that. The heroes have names.
We'll make sure to check him out.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the Portlandia skit. Oh no, that's the Portlandia skit. Yeah. Bohemia says, If they put the extra mini from the Mythic with alternate art, can you imagine the backlash? It will create a precedent, and everyone will ask for alternate art for the rest of the characters. The alternate art they put is just commemorative of COPD. No, the leaks talks about a second box of the rest of the Mythic stuff. Okay, so what Bohemius is talking about is different than what I've been saying. I was thinking ever since we got the Druid and the against the Ogre Horde pack, it was like, oh, I see what they're doing. They're just gonna like stream little bits of these proprietary figures into future boxes. Like just put a little bit in each time. So it's kind of like those action figures where you buy the action figure and it's like you just got like a head in the background. Like what's this head for? Oh, you buy the another action figure and you got the leg. And so you buy the whole set and then you take those spare parts and you put it together and it's one, new figure that you never had. So it encourages you to kind of buy it piecemeal. It's like, it's a little shady, but at the same time, at least we're getting it. Like if you were one of those people who was waiting patiently, couldn't get the mythic set, you're not going to pay a scalper. You're going to buy these other products anyway, and then you're still going to get like a copy. As far as redoing the figures, that's kind of a toss up because with the Druid, it was a different sculpt. So it's kind of like you're getting a whole new character. If you wanted the original one, you're just not going to get it. Whereas with the other figures in the Spirit Queen's Torment, Prophecy of Telor, they gave you the exact sculpt. It was a different color. So you could say, okay, it's different than the one that I collected in the crowdfunding. And then, if you paint it, it doesn't matter anyway. So I would think, yes, they've done alternate sculpts of those characters. And I think the new sculpts are better. The game mechanics are the same. So the Druid plays the same way in both the Mythic set and the new expansion. But Bohemius's point is they're just going to release a box with all that stuff in it. Like, I wouldn't object to that either. Now, if they don't change it and if they don't add extra stuff to it, you run into that same question that we've had all along, which is what would get us who already have it to buy it again? Like, I don't know. A few people would buy two copies because they keep one in the package and the other one they paint and play it with on the table. But a lot of people would just say it's the same thing. I already have it. Who cares? On the other hand, you could say there's a lot more people that didn't get that mythic stuff who are going to buy it, and so they're still going to make a lot of money. To your point, StrangeBus, yeah, they can't just cut us out of the deal, not yet anyway.
Indeed.
Um, yeah, so there's a lot of considerations. I mean, my thought is I want the people who didn't get the mythic stuff to be able to get it. Like I think that's a good thing. I think that is a good worthy goal. And yes, not everything in the mythic set was amazing and awesome. Like some of it was just okay. And so we've built it up in our minds because that's the rare thing. That's the exclusive thing. And people who weren't there when the HasLab campaign happened aren't going to have that same kind of buzz for it. But on the other hand, they hear us talking about it. And so they're going to go, "Oh yeah, that was the one that was, really rare and, I get to own it now." So there's still some mystique to it. It still kind of rubs off. So whether we like it or not, we're advertising for them. Wizards, yes. So Wizards of Morcar is the next expansion. We know that because the store leaks. So the same stores were posting, coming soon. Joe Manganiello's, I forget to say his name the correct way. Manganiello. The same stores that were saying his pack is coming, did the Porky Pig thing. We're also saying Wizards of Morcar is coming. So I fully trust that it's coming. The question is, what are they going to do to change it? And already people are freaking out. And maybe I freaked out a little bit to say, oh, you're going to open up the box and it's just 4 wizards. That's it. Like, and they're going to say, well, just buy some other expansions and it'll be okay. And, you don't need all these mercenaries and everything. I don't think we need to panic because if Wizards of Morcar is following the trail of clues that they've been giving us, it's going to be a big box expansion. It's going to cost more. And so, like Jungles of Delthrak or Against the Ogre Horde, it's going to be packed with content. So they'll have plenty of room to do everything. Now, if they turn around and disappoint us, again, I'm going to be disappointed, obviously. But I think this is just a tide me over kind of thing. And they do have an opportunity to put more stuff, mythic stuff, in that box as well. But like Bohemius was saying, maybe they have another plan. Maybe one of these rumors turns out to be true, and there's a completely separate box for it. Like the model that HeroScape uses is they give you like a little tiny box that has one figure in it. They give you a bigger box that has a whole squad of figures. They give you a gigantic box that has, tons of stuff. They give you, a terrain box, a dice box. What's stopping Hasbro from doing that with their HeroQuest products? They could. They haven't yet. The closest they've gotten is those hero collections, two figures and a bunch of cards, charge you $16 for it. But yeah, the store listings, I don't think they had like the weight of the box, the dimensions of the box, but the price point was just about right. It was like, okay, Joe's box is going to be like Keller's Keep or Return of the Witch Lord. It's going to be those smaller boxes. StrangeBus, you know what I'm talking about, the smaller expansion box. And then
Yeah.
Wizards of Morcar is going to be like the bigger one, right? Not the big one, but the bigger one, the medium-sized box. So that gives them enough room to fit all the figures in if they want to. But just when we think that they're setting up a pattern, they go and change it on us. 18 months down the development cycle, something new. So anyway, other than that, I really don't have much to talk about. So, but that was a HeroQuest Power Hour. We'll find out more in August, maybe before August. Yeah, WOM
Try,
is Wizards of Morcar. They're going to put extra ideas in
Wom.
Sinister Sorcerers.
Give
Well,
them the Wom.
wom, 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 wom. Well, that's always a possibility, isn't it, Bohemius? Because as we know, Wizards of Morcar was only 5 quests. Seems a little meager. We're used to 10. So what they fill that with is anyone's guess.
Okay.
Break it
I'm
down.
going to suggest we take a quick break.
Oh yeah.
Quick intermission.
Yep.
And then we'll be right back with our other topics.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Unfortunately, I don't have
I
the.
looked this way. I forgot that my camera was over here.
You did the John Stewart thing. Like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Didn't see you there. Do you
Oh,
like?
yeah. Hello.
What did the old country buffet guy say? His catchphrase.
Uh,
They interviewed it on
well,
some show. He's like, yeah, did that thing. Everybody liked it.
he said, all right. All right.
He's like, it's pretty hot out there. You like roast beef or whatever.
Man, I'm gonna have to look it up now again because I'm like drawing a
Forgot.
blank.
Yeah, I used to feel like
I'm gonna disappoint Ribby because I totally
Ribby can.
can't remember.
Ribby is going to get on camera. He's going to have the whole outfit. He's going to have the carving knives. He's going to be sitting there. He's
Did you see
got.
the thing on Discord where he sent the figure over? There's like a figure, like an old country buffet figure.
Oh yeah, now I know what you mean. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that guy's a legend. Thanks for making us smile with
Yeah.
your meme.
Wait. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I just gotta get past this stupid ad because I don't have my ad block enabled right now.
Oh yeah.
This guy claimed ads on the old country buffet training video.
Yeah, we were never
Fucking
meant to be.
stupid, dude.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, my enthusiasm here for HeroQuest is not dimmed, but I want to acknowledge that there's some people that are a little nervous. There's some people that are a little disappointed. So we'll see what happens. And I'm sure that exclusive
I,
quest will be released to the public. And if it isn't, well, we'll tell you what was in it, and you can recreate it yourself. I'm sure they'll release it. I mean,
yeah,
every other time they've had an exclusive, it's always come out like around that time.
here you go. Would you care for ham or beef?
Yeah, but
Did you have enough to eat today?
oh yeah, he makes small talk with the customers. Yeah,
Would you care for ham or beef?
I can picture it in my head. It's so funny.
Still hot out there?
It's still hot out there. Yeah. So like they come up to get their carved ham or whatever, and they're all sweaty.
Did you catch the game last night? Well, this one's even better because this is like the 10-hour video, and it's literally just cut to the chase.
Where it's just like an endless loop of the same stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Did you catch the game last night? Have you tried the lasagna? What grade are you at school?
You like ice cream?
Hi, how are you? Oh man,
Bohemian says, Rob, the box is going to be so big the Gen Con display is not going to contain it. That's right.
I'm going to fall asleep to this now
Yep.
tonight.
Yep. I'm going to dream
The
of
old
this
country buffet guy's gonna,
old
lull me to sleep.
Yep. Like Bob Ross. Yep.
I love literally the top comment is I'm gonna play this at my wedding as my future wife walks down the aisle and will continue to play for the next 10 hours.
Oh, the fact that they already created the 10-hour video. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you'll be entertained. You won't be bored. All right, guys. Well,
If you play at 1/4 speed, it'll play for 40 hours and the
there
beloved
you go.
meat carver will sound drunk.
Can you make it? Can you make it 20 hours so I don't have to keep pressing play every 10 hours? That's always the comment. So I don't have the graphic of the anime girl like asleep at her computer. So I'll just have to do the regular generic.
Oh.
I know. You should share it with me.
One day I'll get back on Windows, and one day I'll
Yeah,
be able to have our stuff back. Sorry, guys. I don't know if I'd mentioned this, but yeah, I'm on Linux Mint now, so
it's too cool for us.
I'm not hosting because I don't like Windows. I don't think Windows is a good operating system anymore, and I think it's stupid. So
He's not wrong,
I switched over.
but I'm
I like being spied on.
taking the
I've
point.
become a conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
But
All right.
yeah,
All right. Well, let's take what do you say? 5 minute, 10 minute?
5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Rantcast. We'll be back with some other topics. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. I think we're back. Thanks for waiting. On the Rantcast.
I'm not this cynical all the time.
No.
It's really I try not to be, but
Yeah, me neither. Yep.
I'm just a fat bearded guy who enjoys
I mean,
pudding.
you get a Twinkie, you bite into it, and you're like, this is not the best Twinkie that I've ever had.
Oh,
It's like, I hate it when that happens.
they're
But,
supposed to be spongy and delicious.
yeah. When I put it in my mouth, it's juicy and delicious. Ignorance is bliss. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Juicy is the word I use for a Twinkie, but sure.
I was thinking of the Matrix where he's eating the steak. You know, he's like, I know this isn't real, but my brain's telling me it's juicy and delicious. He's like, ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
Yeah. Transitioning to other topics tonight.
Well, I mean, I'm going to bring up something there. You were talking about
Okay.
fake realities. I was reading a book to my kids. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Pendragon series, but it's
Oh,
a
yeah. Never.
a book about a kid who travels through time and space to save certain territories or worlds from certain destruction from like an evil demon. And in one book, it's about people who are hooked up to these machines that put them in their own fantasy worlds. And they are so hooked on that they stop working. They stop working in the real world. And it's kind of like a play on reality because around that time that the book was made, cell phones were a big thing, and computers were kind of booming, and we were really afraid about being hooked into fantasy too much as we were reality. And it's really dystopian now, but yeah, it was really funny because he was talking about like how when he was in the the fantasy world, there was a part in the book where he was saying like he would think about something, it would happen. Like he was at his mom's house. His mom would make him flapjacks or pancakes,
Mm.
even though he knew his mom wasn't around anymore, his house wasn't around anymore. That he could still smell the pancakes, the bacon, the eggs, and stuff like that. And he could eat it. And he's like, man, it's no wonder people don't want to leave.
Hmm.
So, but it was kind of a topic that I,
Like Ready.
yeah, kind of similar to Ready Player One. Yeah, but if you've never read any of the Pendragon books by DJ McHale, you should give them a try, or at least read them to your kids if you have kids, because or older kids, I guess. Because that's what I'm doing right now. Is usually every night
Yeah.
I will take some time to read a book. I think we're at book 5 right now, but I used to read these books in middle school and high school.
Nice.
And they're very well done, but they're very early 2000s. So they're a little dated, but they're still fun reads. And the imagination on that author is really well done. So
That's great. I remember my parents reading me stuff, and it was the same kind of thing. It's like they were reading stuff from like their childhoods, and it's like it was a little dated, but we still had fun. And it's you get to bond, you get to experience the love of reading, storytelling, fantasy. Yeah,
also, weren't we talking about X-Men? Forgot I was wearing my X-Men t-shirt.
X-Men.
Which, is Wolverine and the X-Men. It's not, just the X-Men. It's
Yeah.
just, Wolverine and the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, that's how the cartoons went. I mean, you had X-Men, and then it was like Wolverine and the X-Men. It's like I can control the weather with my mind. Got knives for hands. I can
Yep.
I can reach into anyone's mind all over the earth. I have infinite knowledge. Knife hands. I know he's got other stuff. He's got the healing
And everybody's
factor. He's
interested in the guys with the knife hands. That's it.
Yeah, because knife hands are cool to kids. Like, oh man, if I had knives in my hands, that'd be so sweet.
He was also he was also kind of really, he was really edgy.
Yeah,
You didn't want to relate to Professor Xavier and stuff. He was the
head in the clouds.
lame wad. He was the guy who
nerd.
always wanted you to be good and do good things. Or you know what, Cyclops? He was blind and couldn't control himself. He had to have a visor on, and you didn't want you had Jean Grey, but like the only reason people like Jean Grey back in the day is because they over exaggerated certain body parts. And that's the thing was you had the X-Men, but the only person that people really wanted to be was they wanted to be that. They wanted to be the cool anti-hero. They wanted to be Wolverine.
Yeah, it appealed to different kind of. He was a different kind of character.
But yes,
yeah, we were talking about how hard it is apparently to make a superhero team movie where it's like an ensemble cast and you like all the characters, as opposed to I feel like the most successful X-Men movies, yeah, you had all the X-Men, but it was really heavily focused on Wolverine. Well, the first one was Wolverine and Rogue, and I guess kind of Jean Grey a little bit. But yeah, everybody else was like a secondary character. And yes, Patrick Stewart's larger than life. They tried to have, him, but yeah, he's more the mentor figure. He's more the narrator. This
and he was interesting.
Yeah,
he was interesting.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're a kid, you wanted to get back to Wolverine, and my God, man, Hugh Jackman was the perfect fit for that.
He was a huge
especially for the movies. Yep.
Well, and as the movies went on,
Jackman.
he had his own series, and I feel like those were the worst ones, in my opinion. I know a lot of people.
Oh, really?
A lot of people liked Logan a lot. So for some people, that was their favorite X-Men movie.
I very much enjoyed Logan, so
I could
be careful where you tread. We may not be able to work professionally anymore.
No, not anymore. Well, and I've said before my reasoning is because I was not a reader of the comics, so I didn't appreciate it on the same level that people that were heavily into the comics, especially comics of a certain era, were.
Well, I didn't read a lot on Old Man Logan. I knew about it, but like that was the big thing was. My mom, I grew up, like I said, I grew up with 2 moms. And I had one mom who was a comic book nerd. And she was huge into the X-Men. And she had uh, I didn't do any of the crazy multi-universe bullshit or any of the other stuff. It was just like it was just the X-Men comics that I read
Mhm.
or the cartoon that I watched.
Yeah, the cartoon was
I
really good.
mean, I didn't stick with it for that long because as I grew up, I found my comfort food, which was at the time Star Wars.
Yeah.
There was my comfort food. It was it didn't evolve too much. It didn't change too much until the later after the mid aughts. Then it started
Comics keep going, but for a lot of people, it's a
but
transitional thing. You read them for a couple years, then you move on.
but yeah, I didn't adopt any of that stuff like a lifestyle. Like that's the thing. That's the difference between like other like big nerds and like me growing up as a nerd was I was just a Star Wars guy. And I guess that back then that made you really unpopular.
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess being a nerd of everything else made you unpopular, but like being just the traditional Star Wars nerd made you unpopular with a lot of people because
Star Wars
there were
stopped
people
being
who
mainstream.
knew.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well that and the fact that there were you had your Nintendo nerds who were like they played a variety of Nintendo games, they knew everything about Nintendo. They spent their time doing that, and I didn't know any of that shit. Like I knew what Mario was, but like
Yeah.
I didn't own all the Mario games. I didn't own all the Zelda games. I played like a set of those, and like nobody liked me for that. So I was an outcast for that. Then you had like your people who liked the Marvel and or DC stuff, and I knew who Batman and Spider Man and the X Men were.
Oh
I
yeah.
knew all the superhero stuff, but like once again, you had your people who were really in depth with that stuff, like they read the
Yep.
comics or and
Yeah. It's
I
like
uh,
everybody knows certain
I
characters,
didn't do
but you're
that.
actually following it. Yeah, month to month, all those storylines.
So I only got along with people who really got into Star Wars, and then we kind of evolved from there. Like
Yeah.
so,
And here we are.
as I grew up, and as the nerdy thing kind of evolved into a more popular, I guess, a more popular trend, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Then I started looking more into it. But I'd say besides Star Wars, I would say X Men was one of the things that I got the most involved in. But like I said, like as far as the movies go, man, like the Wolverine was good, Logan was good.
Oh.
Origins was um I don't know if I want to state what Origins was because a lot of people didn't like it. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it. It was just when I first watched it. I'm gonna say something that sounds really freaking sinful here. I didn't particularly know who Deadpool was when I first watched that movie. And when you don't know who certain characters are,
You don't
you
know
tend
who?
not to dislike. No, I didn't. I was like
I
17,
didn't know who
and I
Deadpool
had
was.
no idea who the fuck
I still
Deadpool
don't
was.
know who he is
And
now.
I'm
I
like,
know who he is now, but yeah, people were
so
pissed. They
yeah,
were
so
like,
like
"This is
people
Baraka
were
from Mortal
super
Kombat
mad.
2. This isn't Deadpool."
Yeah, and like they were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, but I thought he was okay. And it's Ryan Reynolds. Why wouldn't you like this? And like, so
Well, it's like in
I
the
looked it up.
Fantastic Four movie, they made Galactus into a storm cloud. It's like he's not a storm cloud. What the
Yeah.
hell? What are you doing?
So I looked it up and I was like, oh. I was like, damn, I can kind of understand why people were kind of upset because it was like total whiplash. But
Yeah.
besides that, like to me, the rest of the movie was fine. Like it's just like a weird origin story that they kind of altered up a little bit. Um, and I mean, yeah, they did a lot of weird shit to him, but it still kind of matches a little bit to the original like X-Men movies and like how they explain stuff. But I don't like I said, I didn't have to sit there and watch it and be like, eh, you know. I think they went a little bit too deep. But I also think that the movie was hated because I think Hugh Jackman really overhyped that film. Like a
Expectations.
lot. He was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be great, guys. You need to watch it, guys. Like, check out my Australian accent, guys. You watch it." And like, so he overhyped a lot of it,
Yeah.
and
I
then it turned out to not be great.
I
And then
think
people got really mad.
I'm trying to think. I think I saw almost. Let's see. each of the X-Men movies, including the Wolverine ones, I think I saw them all in theaters up until a certain point. I didn't see Logan. I didn't see Dark Phoenix, or whatever it was called. I didn't see Days of Future Past, and I didn't see Days of Future. Oh, Apocalypse. But I mean, all the other ones I saw in theaters. Like it was always just automatic. Oh, there's a new X-Men movie. Let's go see it. Like it was just.
I didn't watch those either in theaters. Days of Future Past I didn't watch in theaters. I saw it alternatively.
But I do remember after each one, after the first one, like after the second one, it was like, that could have been better. Like after the dust settles, you're like, it wasn't quite as good as the first one. But it was still like, oh, but the next one's out. Let's go see that one. And people were like ripping on it online, and it's like, okay, they got a point, but I didn't hate it that much. And then over time, it's kind of like, yeah, but I haven't gone back and watched it again. There must be a reason for that. I mean, maybe
I
if I
mean,
did see it today, I
so
would have a different opinion. But yeah,
I watch Days of Future Past when I'm watching all the X-Men movies. And like I said, to me, that movie would have been great if it wasn't the movie to try if it didn't try to do what Terminator was trying to do at the same time. I think
oh yeah,
was it Terminator
Dark Fate,
Genesis?
Genesis.
Or Dark Fate? One of the two. I think it was Genesis.
They blend together
That
in my head.
yeah, I've lost track of what they were, but there was the one with I think it
Old
was
Arnie.
Matt Smith that had that. It was
Oh,
the one with Matt Smith in it, and it was 2015.
yeah.
And
I think
I'll
that
just
was
call it Terminator 2015.
there. You
But
go.
it was that one. I only saw it like twice, and it had the girl from Game of Thrones in it too. And
Amelia Clark.
so they tried to rewrite all of the Terminators with
Oh
that
yeah,
movie.
that was Genesis.
Yeah, so they did that, and then like Days of Future Past came, I think, like slightly before that. And what they were doing was they were trying to wipe the other three X-Men out because they were unfavored at the time, except for the first one, I think. They were unfavored, so they were trying to start pretty much a fresh slate with the new cast of characters, like because they already started on First Class and stuff like that, and then so they were like, "We'll just start over. We'll do a time travel movie because time travel movies are popular and they're a good way to start over."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's good in theory on paper, but those movies are already out and people already watch them and they own them and they exist and like
Right.
you can't really wipe them off the face of the planet. So, yeah, I guess you can wipe out all the work that prior people did and say that it didn't matter, because that's what I have a problem with is
Yeah,
when
me
you
too.
do that, you're saying that they don't exist. Now you could do a time travel movie and say that this erases the past, but still include it in the canon of your said trilogy. But I think at the time they were just trying to wipe
Yeah.
the previous movies away.
I feel like it's better
Like,
just tell your story. Don't even like you don't have to have like Michael Keaton come in and go, I'm Batman, ugh, I'm dead, and then Christian Bale walks in and goes,
yeah,
I'm Batman now. Like you don't
yeah.
just have him. Christian Bale's just there. He's Batman. Like it doesn't
So
hurt anything.
and like I said, they kind of did that too, where they were saying like they do still exist, but if you don't want to watch them now, there's a reason not to watch them. Dude, there was a reason not to watch them before. You didn't have to do a crazy time traveling movie. Now, like I said before, I think X-Men did it better than Terminator did because X-Men actually included some plot and some actual like story other than hey, we're just gonna go kill.
It had actual plot,
Determined.
story,
Yeah,
characters. The camera was actually on.
we're gonna use the same fucking plot from Terminator 1.
Yeah, and just mess it up.
Just rewrite it. Like,
Yeah,
and Arnold just like, yeah, I'm on board, sign me up, here we go, Terminator again. Like, because he's excited to do those movies
yeah,
no
he
matter
doesn't
what.
care. Yeah,
But
these guys are saying
yeah,
throwing
and
out stuff.
Beast is cool. Yeah, I like Beast.
Yeah, it was fun.
But
I think all the X-Men movies had moments in them that were entertaining, but as a complete package, it to me it was like diminishing returns, less and less each time. And so at a certain
yeah,
point,
I could
I
disagree with
tuned
that
out.
though, because I enjoyed a lot of them
Yeah,
up until I would say up until the final ones,
but I just
like the last.
at a certain point I just stopped showing up because I didn't. it wasn't like I was angry. It was just like I'm done. That's okay. I've had enough.
Weren't they supposed to do something after Apocalypse and it just didn't pan out because the movie wasn't selling?
Sounds right.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, they tried to do the Jean Grey. They tried to do the Phoenix shit again, and like
Dark Phoenix.
that was annoying as fuck. I really hate that. Okay, we try to isolate characters like we did with Wolverine. Like
Yeah.
it was great for one, right?
Hmm.
It's okay to do, and like they didn't even have to do Wolverine, but they chose a safe choice, and that's fine, right? Because Wolverine's a safe choice. You know, he's a popular character with just about everybody. It's like picking Pikachu in Pokemon. Everybody likes Pikachu.
Hmm.
You can't go wrong with Pikachu.
Package salad.
It's a fan favorite. So, whatever. But like, I feel like picking Jean Grey is you're gonna get some wobbly ground. You could still make it successful, but you have to make it good. And I feel like
They didn't make it.
one, you didn't have the same actress. If you're gonna do something, I would feel like you should pick the same actress. I can't remember what her name was, as like in the original films.
Yeah, all that momentum.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be picking the newer actress because you don't do that with Hugh Jackman. You didn't pick
Right.
a younger version of him for Wolverine.
Right.
The only time you did that was in Origins, and you picked somebody to play his kid version.
Yeah.
But like you guys do that with every other X-Men. I feel like that's kind of like a slap to the face for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
And I don't think Hugh Jackman has the same contractual obligations as The Rock. He doesn't sign himself to be, well, not anymore, as Wolverine no matter what. So,
Yeah. Well, he played Wolverine in the new Deadpool movie, which I never saw. But
well, yeah, and that's where I kind of got. That's where I kind of got because, like I said, Hugh Jackman is human, right? He makes mistakes, but he did officially say, right? Like same thing with Origins, right? He really upsold Origins for the fans because he wanted to make a paycheck. He wanted to bank in on Wolverine. It was his. He was at the pinnacle of the whole Wolverine hype. So he worked with people on that movie. He got some people in on the movie, and then he was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this. I can't really say it, but you're gonna love what we've done with the movie." And then like the movie came out, and everybody was like, "What are you talking about, bro? The movie sucks."
like, say that to my face, bub.
Yeah, and so he didn't really want to be like. I think it kind of like killed his inspiration to keep like writing for that. Because I think he kind of helped to write that movie. He did something personal with that movie anyway for Origins. But I don't know if he did anything with the Wolverine. And
Yeah.
I don't know if he did anything with Logan personally. He might have had. I know he has like say, because that's his character. But after Logan, he literally went out to almost every like talk show host and stuff. And he was like, "I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I'm done playing. I'm done. I have to stay in shape, and I'm old, and give me my big bowl of pasta for the Jimmy Fallon show, or whatever the fuck, the Tonight Show, whatever that is." And they gave him this big bowl of pasta, and he ate it, and he was super happy. And it drove people insane because here Hugh Jackman is eating. I don't know why. It's just a guy eating pasta. But anyway, he claimed that he was done. He was officially done. He might do a cameo or two, but he was done. He did a cameo for like First Class or some shit like that. He did a cameo for a couple of the other ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about the First Class series. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. It was
because that's what introduced Days of Future Past and stuff.
And then Apocalypse.
And so he did a couple cameos for other things where like he could be sitting in a chair and he didn't have to do anything rigorous, and he could wear a jacket over his like 30-pound soaking wet flabby ass old body because he's not working out anymore. And I mean, he'd still probably be ripped, but he's not as ripped as Wolverine's supposed to look. So he's got a little fat going on there. But he can wear a jacket over his bloated self and still look like he still look like Wolverine if he's sitting in a chair and wearing a leather jacket. So they put him in a couple of scenes doing that. But then came time where Ryan Reynolds walks up to him and goes, "Hey, we need you again to play Wolverine." And I wonder how much money had to be laid on the table
Yep.
for Hugh Jackman to go, I'm in my fucking 50s
Yep. Yep.
and grandpa status. I'm senior citizen discount status.
Yep.
And you want me to be playing
He's in the
a
monastery, and you're like,
middle-aged man?
you got to pick up your gun again and go rescue some hostages. Like, I'm retired.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying is like and then we're not just talking Deadpool and Wolverine. We're talking like the constant cameos he's had to make.
You're right.
So
Professor X is on the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange. See,
yes.
you guys are like listing off all the stuff. X-Men Legends video game, HeroClix. They were talking about that earlier. I never played HeroClix, but that was the
Well,
game
and
where you had the little dials on the figures. But yeah, X-Men was,
when we're not even talking about the times where like
but
what
Hugh
was it, the
Jackman.
fight between Marvel, like the Marvel licensing stuff that had to be
Yeah,
brought in for X-Men, I think.
Spider-Man and
But
X-Men
like,
were owned by Sony, and
yeah.
Disney had to
So
acquire them, which I think
so I
only
guess
happened very recently. I can't remember exactly when it
yeah.
happened, but yeah, X-Men
I think there was
'97,
a time.
which I don't know. I've heard mixed things about it. Some people really really liked it, and other people were like, no, it's not good. You think it's good at
It's pretty
first.
favorable.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it, but
I
like
haven't seen it. I'm still watching the
it's
classic series. I never watched it when it was on because I had moved on to other things. But after many many years, I went back and I started watching it, and I'm like maybe halfway through it, and I've really enjoyed it. Like,
I liked it. I liked the original, like the stuff that originally aired, but they're
na 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 na
picking
na
up where they
na
left off.
na na na
Yeah,
na
so they're picking up where the show left off because I think the show left off pretty
na na
much
na.
on nothing.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
And like so, and they brought back the guy who played Wolverine, who voiced him, who literally did nothing but that.
Wow.
And the dude's like 80 years old. I think now he's old as hell.
Well, that's kind of like
So,
how they did those two animated specials for the Adam West Batman, and they actually brought Adam West back, and he sounded like he was 100 years old, and he still did it,
yeah.
and it was fun, it was great. But that was like a one-off. This is
So
like a whole series, so it's like, okay, well, you got to bring your A game for that. So I don't know if I'll see
yeah,
it,
gotta get some help.
but I want to get my way through the regular series first.
But anyway, to make sure I'm not losing track here.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they were required because I think during Deadpool 2 they couldn't bring in all the X-Men because they weren't owned by Marvel didn't own or the studio didn't own all the characters. I don't think because
Disney.
Sony still owned the character or something, and they kept talking to the camera about it. They kept making
Yeah.
fourth wall breaks about it. But like, um, now that they have that, or now that's done, uh, the Deadpool and Wolverine thing. I think the whole reason they had to move shit around or change his character or do something like that was I don't think it was just for fan service. I think it was the fact that Hugh Jackman can't really bulk up like he used to, and throw him. I mean, he did great for the movie, but like a lot of that shit was CG done.
Well, I mean, you get somebody
And
like Stallone, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know what he's injecting into himself, but I hope he doesn't like explode on camera. Yeah,
but like he still can't do half those stunts. Like the
yeah.
stunts that he was doing back in the original movies and stuff, they're replacing with a CG version of him, or
Well, like
they're like using a stunt double.
starts to look like the
Well,
Irishman,
yeah.
where it's
So
like a 70-year-old guy trying to play like a 30-year-old, and it's like, okay, well, when he crouches down to pick something and he gets back up, it's like, okay, he gets up like a guy who's in his late 70s. You know, you can't change that.
you can't even crouch. You need the stuntman to crouch.
Yeah. I never watched it, but I did see the scene where it's like there's a scene where I don't even know the plot, but it's like the gangster guy like beats this guy up, and it's like it's really weird looking because it's like this really old guy like trying to like knock this
Isn't that
guy
with
down.
Pierce Brosnan? Isn't that The
Okay,
Irishman? What's it? What was that movie?
it's I'm trying to think. Is it the story of like how like Jimmy Hoffa gets killed? But there's this whole like long story, and it's like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and
Oh, okay, yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Pesci, but they're all like I can't remember if it's like going back and it's going through time. Like they
Wow.
start out really young and then they get their normal ages. Hoffa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I remember this. So it's kind of like a traditional, like old school. I
Gangster.
don't know if it's a mobster film, but it is a gangster film, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean it's supposed to be inspired by true events, and it's based on one theory of like how he was like actually like what his fate was like because he just disappeared. It's like okay, well everybody assumed the mob killed him, but like who killed him and why and what were the
Right.
circumstances? So, but it's a
Well,
really
I need
long
to
movie.
watch this because I totally forgot about this film and I wanted to watch it because like
Some
I'm
people
the
really
fact they
liked
brought
it.
all three of those guys back together is like
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
from what I understand, it was well done. It was popular. It was well received. It's just that some of the scenes people laughed because they're just like, this is so absurd. Like you can tell this is just a really old guy with lots of CGI on him to look like he's a young guy, but he's still moving like an old man, and it's weird.
Oh, let's say because it's like with Harrison Ford.
Yep.
They tried really hard to do it, and they did a
Well,
really good job. But that's what I'm saying. Like the old school, like that's the CGI gets really good, but you can't unless you put him on a different actor,
yeah.
which is what I think they try to do with like Disney films. They use somebody who has this like similar bone structure
Yeah.
or
Well,
like build.
how did they do it
They'll
with
try to do that, and then they'll.
in the Naked Gun movies? How did they do it with Leslie Nielsen? Like they just got a guy with like a big white wig
What are you
on.
talking about?
Naked
Oh,
Gun.
like with like his stunt doubles?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you can obviously tell in certain areas where that's
yeah.
not him.
But I guess the fact that it's a comedy and it's kind of like over the top anyway, you don't really like, hey,
Like
that's
there
not
were
real.
some stunts that like I didn't believe that he did that he was doing.
Did he actually
Like
did?
the really crazy ones, like yeah, he was not doing those.
Well, and I guess
There was
to be fair, he always looked a little older than he actually was too. But yeah, he was
yeah, but I
no
think he was
spring
still in his
chicken.
like what 40s or 50s, I think, doing some of those older films. Like
Yeah,
he was he was always pretty old in those.
yeah,
But that's how you know he was a healthy man because he could still run and like
yep,
bounce up and down and like do shit that a lot of people that I would know in that age would be like, "Oh fuck my back!" Like
yeah.
I can't do that.
I could do this one scene and I'll be back in 6 months to do the next scene because I need to recover.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Well, and he always bring the
But yeah,
whoopee
like
cushion to the interviews, and like he wouldn't say anything, so people are like, "Oh, it's this poor old guy. He can't control his vowels." It's like, no,
he just ripping ass during an interview.
he's pranking you the whole time. What a legend. Anyway,
But yeah, like I really think that like doing what Disney did with they would hire multiple people to so they cover the face,
oh
but
yeah,
that's really expensive. So I think just doing the CGI over the old people was probably fine, but it was you can definitely tell that in certain
it's like
circumstances
the
because their
uncanny
suits
valley.
are too big for them
Yeah,
because they're thin underneath. They're really thin because they're old. It just makes it look, I would say, uncanny in certain shots.
yeah, for sure. Well, one actor that pulled it off well was Wilford Brimley because he had kind of an older look anyway, but he could play like a guy that was like way older, convincingly. And so when he finally was really old, it's like, oh, not that much has changed. I mean, you could tell he's, really old, but yeah, he uh, he just kind of
Right.
carried it through his career.
Yeah, I totally forgot about this because I there was a scene I saw in this like
Irishman.
where they were in like a old folks home and they were like messing with each other or some shit like De Niro and Pesci or something like that.
I'm
And
not gonna
I have to remember this. I
I'm,
have to watch this movie
I'm not
sometime.
gonna ruin it, but there's the scene where he's beating the guy up. It makes me think of a certain famous wrestling match. There's this wrestling match from WWF where I think it's Hulk Hogan fighting Heartbreak Kid. What's the guy's name? The super kick? I can't.
So
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn
He's
Michaels with
fighting.
his
Yeah.
sweet chin music.
Sweet chin music. Yeah. So he's wrestling Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels is like way overselling like everything that Hulk Hogan is doing. So like he punches him, and like Shawn Michaels like throws himself like across the ring, like over the ropes, just like he's just like what? So like everything. so the scene, people were like, "Oh man, that guy sold it like a champ," because it's like every like tap that he does to the guy like flings himself through a glass window and throws himself on the
Uh-huh.
ground because it's like he can't move that fast, but it's like his opponent is just getting like completely clobbered. So, well, good effort,
Getting a
man.
slobber knocker.
It's a real slobber knocker. Yeah, so that's what made me think of. But maybe if I see it in context, I would just be like, apparently the movie was good enough that people forgave those missteps, shall we say?
Yeah, because they don't do a lot of gangster or mobster movies that are super good no more. I don't think. Like I
No, there was The
they
Sopranos
were
on
doing
TV,
them.
and that was kind of
But
like
yeah,
closing the book on a lot of that for a lot of people.
really? No, bro. You
They
you
did
still
more
missed
after
a
that.
lot of things.
They did more
Yeah, they
gangster
did
movies.
movies like what was that DiCaprio movie? Um, where he went undercover and shit. I'm totally forgetting about it. Uh, fuck.
I can't think of it.
Uh,
Oh, recent?
Departed. Yeah,
I thought that was.
had Jack Nicholson. That was 2006, brother.
Oh,
That was shortly
dang.
after.
Dang. Okay,
Shortly
because I
after The
saw that.
Sopranos.
Why
Sopranos
did I
ended in
think that?
2005.
I thought that was earlier. Okay,
So,
I'm wrong.
and then
You
you had a couple others.
sleeping with the fishes.
There's a lot of Mexican cartel shows
Oh,
that are
okay,
really good
fair
recently.
point. Fair point.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like in the last couple of years, it's kind of
Fine.
gone downhill, and you can't really touch it.
The
So,
gangsters have never gone away. But there was like a golden age of
no.
like gangster movies. Well, I guess there was a
I would say the really
before the
good
one.
ones that talked about like the rise of power and stuff are kind of going away. Um, I would think like a lot of modern
Scarface and
mobster
your
films are coming out.
Godfather and all those.
But yeah,
It's like the 70s, 80s. Yeah.
I mean, they were telling stories that were what 40, 30 years old around then.
Hmm.
So what we're telling stories that are 40, 30 years old,
Yeah.
if they are
Well, they were
like,
making gangster movies while the gangsters were still out there, like doing this.
mm,
Well, I mean, they're still gangsters. What am I saying? There's always been gangsters, but I mean, like, all that stuff that you think of when you think of gangsters, mobsters, organized crime, Goodfellas, Casino.
Casino.
Yep.
Love
I
me some Casino.
Cause Casino and Goodfellas. I liked got Goodfellas better. What do you think? Have you seen either of those movies?
Yeah, I've seen them both. Yeah.
Okay. Which one did you like better as
So
a
I
movie?
think Goodfellas is great. I think it's a great movie. I prefer Casino though, but that's
Go
just
get your
me.
shoe shine box. Son of a yeah.
The reason I do is because it's like to me, it's a little bit. It's kind of a calmer watch for me.
Mhm.
Like they're both pretty like hard movies,
Over the top, yeah.
but like I feel like Casino kind of has like a smoother ride. Like it's a little less.
I can see
I don't
that.
know.
It does kind of
I feel
take
like
you.
Goodfellas there's a lot of like like in a snap of a finger it can get really fucking nasty real quick.
Mm,
And like um it's same thing with Casino. I just feel like the pacing on that
it's
is a
different.
little bit better. So you can kind of watch Casino whenever. Like if you're not feeling like somebody getting fucking rocked the whole time, you kind of sit and watch it,
Yeah.
and then you slowly get into it to where you don't want to turn it off if it gets nasty. I feel with Goodfellas, if you're gonna turn it on, you better be ready for it.
Any
Like
second, something's gonna happen. Dance, bang,
like shit's
ah.
gonna happen.
Right.
So, and that's to me, that's what the monster film. Like, if you want something where if I want to bring my wife into it, like, be like, okay, you come watch a movie with me. We're probably gonna watch Casino. Like, I'm probably gonna get her to watch Casino more than I'd be able to watch like Goodfellas or something. You
Plus,
know,
plus
um,
people made some really hilarious soundboards out of that for like prank calls and stuff of all the quotable lines, all the nasty things that Joe Pesci says to people to scare them or try to intimidate them. Yeah.
well, he usually kills them anyway afterwards. Like, it's dude, he
Yeah.
was rough back then,
Yep.
and like
Well,
how he got into character. There was I can't remember if it was Goodfellas or something where like he would actually hold loaded weapons and shit,
weapons.
like
Whoa.
to get the feel of the gun.
Dang. Well,
Like,
didn't he do was it Lethal Weapon sequels he was in before? He played this kind of goofy guy and like not threatening at all, and all of a sudden he's playing like this, really unstable, like dangerous, like, hitman gangster
yeah.
type guy.
So I grew up with Joe Pesci being the guy in fucking Home Alone.
Oh
So
yeah, the wet
like
bandits.
the
Well, okay, he
yeah,
was
the phony mobster, you
yeah.
know
He was a
the just the wet
criminal.
bandits.
He had a nasty temper, but he was mostly just, yeah, a fall guy, like
Or
a
or
idiot.
My cousin Vinny, because I used to watch that too. My mom used to watch
Oh,
that
I
on
never saw
TV, or
that.
she had a videotape.
Never saw that.
You've never seen that movie?
Is that the one
Oh,
where he's
fuck,
like
it's so great.
he's in a courtroom or something?
Yes. So I don't exactly remember the premise too much. I remember what it like kind of was about, but I also remember some of the lines. But here, I'll show you one of my favorites. Me,
Gotti, Sammy the Bull, the two Yuts.
I'll show you. Hold on.
So Rob sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Like I said, I haven't seen some of these movies.
Here, you would like this. I don't know if you could show it, but I want you to listen to it. You probably put it up like to listen to.
Yeah,
This is it's about 2 minutes long. But here, you just post it up. Here, I'll put this on the.
gonna get audio jungled, visual jungled,
You might get audio
video
jungle.
jungle,
Called Magic Grits.
magic grits.
2 hour film. It's pretty decent, but it's great. It's fucking awesome. He shows up into the courtroom in like a fucking tuxedo because like his suit got ruined, and the judge takes offense to it. He's like, "What are you doing in that getup?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, Your Honor. I know you'd get on me if I wasn't dressed up." And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court." Like this, like judge that
Comedy.
he has to like fucking talk to is always fucking like hounding him and shit. It's like if you had a lawyer who like literally could not hold it together.
Wow. So you recommend it?
I so yes, I do. I do recommend
All
it.
right. My cousin Vinny.
This movie came out when I was born. Um, and yeah, I do recommend it. It's a very very good film. It's also another film that I tend to would say it's one of those films that if you just want to sit down and watch something like casual,
Hmm.
just casual like watching. Like if you're sitting down, you don't want to get like too hyped up. I'm a person who believes in that. Like I don't always like to watch people get fucking mangled. I don't prefer to watch like my wife likes crime dramas.
Yeah.
Like she likes to watch like Law and Order and stuff. She likes to hear about
Criminal
the people who get hurt and murdered, or
CSI type stuff.
sexually assaulted, stuff like that. Like there's always some sort of drama going on. Like this has like a plot in it that's mildly deep, but it's if you just want to sit down, you want to watch a movie that can grip you a little bit. You want some comedy, you want some laughter in there. You know, you just want to sit down and watch a movie. Like that's it.
Yep.
Because and it's a good movie. Like you're not expecting anything fucking crazy out of it.
Nobody's gonna get their head
And
cracked open and come out of the
no,
bank.
no, and that's what I'm saying is like I like a movie like that every now and then where like
Yeah.
people aren't getting fucking mangled to death. I also like gore fest movies too. Don't get me wrong, but like it's good to bring yourself back to earth and like remember the fact that that shit doesn't happen naturally.
Right.
Like we shouldn't get pleasure derivatively off that stuff and like go back to watching movies where people solve problems or
Yeah.
they find themselves in an issue and they try to get themselves out of said issue realistically
Yeah.
or stuff like that. So I know that sounds really boring or like dull, but it's good to ground yourself every now and then. And these are the type of movies I recommend. Like I call them like grounding movies or like casual watching. So
Yeah.
it's a very good movie to casually watch.
Okay. Well,
Not saying it doesn't have its like shit in it, but like
I'm sometimes
it's
like
fun.
that
It's
too.
funny.
I don't have to watch, some major thriller every time. I'm like drifting off to sleep. I'm like, ah. Yeah. Why'd you tell him to get the shoe shine box? Yep. Oh man.
Like I said, you're gonna notice people in here that are like very familiar. I think the Karate Kid's in here.
Ah, Ralph Macchio.
If you watch this scene, I think you'll notice.
Showing your age, SB. Youngin.
Yeah, I know. But they were talking. It talks about grits in this entire. Yeah, it's.
I'll have to see it. Well, have we reached that time, or do we have another burning topic we gotta
Nah, I've just been talking about movies, bro. That's been my
run
thing.
by me? Well,
I don't really have any major issues. Like it's. I've been too busy to worry about the
yeah.
rest of the world. So.
Worry about how many characters are cramming into the James Gunn
It's
Superman, or
It's this guy. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Am I allowed to share my screen? I'm not gonna play any movies, but
all right,
let me see.
we're gonna get visual jungled.
Yeah. Hold on.
I tried to dispute the copyright claim of the last one, and they were like, "Nope, we're still keeping it."
This guy. Isn't this guy? I can't tell. He just reminds me. This guy reminds me of the kid in the Karate Kid. And I can't.
Yeah, it does kind
But
of.
it's this guy. I don't think it's the same guy, but I was. That's all. Well,
Got
that's
a
who I thought it was.
similar look. Well, you never know.
Yeah. He's like super old now, but like I
Ralph Macchio. Oh, Rob says it
have to
is.
look it up.
It is him. Huh.
It is. Ah, see. That's
So he just
what I
he,
thought.
he just got a tan and grew his hair out a little bit more, and he was the Karate Kid.
Well, he's one of the not main characters, but I think he's the guy that's being defended in this
Hmm.
movie, if I remember right. I'm gonna have to sit down and watch it tonight.
Oh, there you go. There you
It's
go.
been quite a long time, but yeah, my mom used to watch this a lot. And I would sit down and watch it with her. Same thing with like Married with Children, stuff like that. So
Oh,
it's I actually have a sticker on the back of my car that quotes that show just to let you guys know. Speaking of showing my age, it was the quotes like I was sad that I had no Dodge until I saw the man who drove one, and it's a picture of Al Bundy, and it's exactly because I now own a Dodge. I have a Dodge Durango now, so
oh, you are that guy. You are that man. Yep.
I am. I mean, I guess we share a similar like male pattern baldness,
There you go.
but I am not a shoe salesman.
Nope.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
And I've twice, or I've two times the kids.
Two times
So
kids. Yeah. Funny. Yeah. Well, I think that's about all I got. I appreciate you joining us on the Rantcast.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I'll have to
I
do.
appreciate everybody for being here
Yeah.
and
Thanks
having
for joining us.
patience
Yeah.
during this crazy time.
Very crazy.
Like I said, we're not trying to be lazy and not trying to do the podcast. I've I've made some like changes recently. I want to thank Kurgan personally for keeping the podcast going.
Oh, my pleasure.
Because yeah, without him, this thing would not be going on almost at all. My setup doesn't support Streamlabs anymore, so I'm restricted to OBS. With my current schedule, I'm almost not streaming at all. So that's probably going to be how it's going to be for a little while until I can catch a break. Um, and I mean, there's not much I can do about it. But if there's anything I can stick to is this show. So I'm gonna try to stick to the show. If I can't, like I said, Kurgan's gonna try to keep it up. But I will always be here as much as I can because I like doing it. It's something I enjoy, and
Yeah, it's fun.
I always just have something to talk about. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
Cobra Kai was great. I watched the first season, but I haven't watched the other seasons yet.
yeah.
So
Apparently
it's only
it's
on my
very
list.
apparently it's very good. I've only seen the movies, and I know that the most recent movie is getting panned by a lot of people. Um,
Oh yeah,
there were two other
they.
Karate Kid
I
movies I never
totally forgot
saw.
about that.
There were two other Karate Kid movies in between I never saw. I've seen the first three, and I thought they were like diminishing returns each time. I mean, the
I
first
didn't. I
one's really
didn't
great.
finish the third one.
Second one was all right. Third one was just okay.
Third one was like to me was like I fell asleep. It was so like
A lot of people
did not
didn't.
have anything to.
A
I
lot
don't
of
even think
people
I
didn't.
remembered it.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well either, to be honest with you.
But yeah, the new movie. It was like I couldn't tell if they were trying to do a sequel on the reboot from like 2010
Oh yeah, with
or
was it Will Smith
yeah,
side
because I was like, yeah, it was.
or
But
Jackie
like,
Chan?
I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, they brought Ralph Macchio back. I was like, oh, okay. But like, well, for what? Because it still has Jackie Chan in it. Like, does this guy every time he hears the Karate Kid come back, want to come back and be the new Mr. Miyagi? What's going on with this?
Yeah,
Like,
they tried to throw him off the set, but it's like they can't because it's Jackie Chan and he's there. It's like okay, well I guess we just got to film it.
he's too old now to do his moves anymore. He can kind of do them, but
Yeah,
he's now known as just Jackie Sensei.
yeah,
He's wise old man now.
yeah. Nothing wrong with having a wise old man. Sometimes you need a wise old man.
Except for that your son gets in trouble all the time.
Uh,
His son got in trouble for like what, gun smuggling or some shit?
Whoa, I didn't
And
hear
drug
that.
possession in China, which is like punishable by death, I think, if I remember right.
Sounds about right. Wow,
Yeah. It's
that's rough.
like he's been doing that for like the last 10 years too. Like he just gets in trouble all the time. His dad bails him out because his dad is like a literal loyalist
Yeah,
to that. So like he's
yeah,
a China native, and
yeah.
so I feel bad for him because I used to like really like Jackie Chan.
Me too.
Grew up with a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Because Hong Kong
And
was
he's just an old man.
yeah its own thing. Hong Kong martial arts.
I think he still has his dojo and stuff still, so he still teaches people. If I remember right, because doesn't he used to do that even back when we were kids? Well, I was a kid. Um, he would teach all of his stunt performers and stuff. So
Okay,
he had that like, dojo where he taught those like 40 something people
sounds about right.
that would work with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm keeping everybody. Sorry, I'm actually getting talkative now.
See, it's getting your second win, whereas I'm just
Yeah.
passing out. Well,
Well,
I
don't pass out.
don't do it. So,
Ah, don't do it.
you playing a game after this, or you got other stuff? You're not
I
streaming.
might. I gotta check to see if my kids are still awake because I want to read to them.
Oh,
It's the summer,
deads,
and they've been up late lately. So,
dead duties. Yeah, it's important.
but after that, yeah, I'll probably play a couple of games of my own. Linux works with most titles, but I don't have the stream stuff
Yeah,
set up. I could just hit the record button. I got my camera stuff on.
camera pointed at the. Got him.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, it would be, and nothing would be tied. So, like, if like somebody subscribed or like somebody popped up on Twitch and wanted to follow me, it wouldn't show up. I don't have any of my stuff tied to OBS,
yeah,
so
yeah.
and that would be the sad part.
Takes some of the fun out of it. Yeah, the interactivity. Well, I guess we'll just kind of keep everybody posted as far as the schedule, how things go. I think with all the chaos that's been going on uh, in our personal lives, each of us, I mean, the weekends, like if any time is going to go, it's the weekend. Like the weekend's going to go. We got to visit somebody or help somebody. But Tuesdays, I mean, it's kind of just about the right time. I've got a late shift the next day, so I don't have to get up early. Um, just kind of sit around and talk about movies and games and companies and kind of forget the bigger problems for a little while. It's all
And
right.
that's it for me. So
All right.
we appreciate everybody who's stayed with us and
Thanks,
kind
guys.
of like been patient riding the wave. Like I know that we've been really sporadic this last year.
Hmm.
Um, it's just like I said before, we're not really doing this professionally, like, or I guess not really professionally, but like we're not doing this on a like profitable level. We
No,
don't want to make this isn't work for us. This is
this is fun.
hobby, and this is something we enjoy. And um, when you are doing this as a business, yes, whether you're sick or something's going on, you make it your job to be on camera. Um, while we have jobs and some of us have families and things, so I don't really need to get into the nitty gritty about it because most of you guys probably already understand that. But
Yeah.
the the big thing is that we do this because we want to continue to entertain people. We want to continue to make this a fun thing. Sometimes we're just not going to always be here. Um, and eventually we'll find a smooth groove. We'll be able to go solid again. Um, I guess I have a saying: when it rains, it pours. Right?
Yeah.
It we get hit with one thing, usually get hit with the next, and it just doesn't stop for a little while. So that's kind of what's going on. We're not going anywhere though. So if we have an issue where something's going on, it may cause Rantcast to stop. We'll keep people posted. One of us will usually keep you posted.
Yep.
Um, or we'll find another day to start hosting the Rantcast. Me and
Yeah.
Kurgan will usually work together on that. So
Yeah. I mean,
we will
we
make
used
it
to do
work.
we used to do Thursdays, and then we switched to Tuesdays. And that was a big deal.
Yep.
But yeah, if we have to change it again, we change it again. Do what we got to do.
Yeah. So we'll big work. Like I said, I was used to hosting a good chunk of the time. Um, but like I said, I made a personal decision. So now Kurgan's hosting.
Yep.
Well, at least for now, until I can get my stuff in VirtualBox to work,
Yep.
and then maybe I can go back to hosting again. So, or at least get my laptop up. Maybe I can get my laptop on Windows and I can host again. But
Yep.
either way, um, I just appreciate you guys for sticking around and supporting the Rantcast because really all that we care about is you being here. We don't want money or any of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
Wouldn't be the same without our audience.
that's right. We just talking to ourselves, even though that's okay. We do that all the time.
Yeah. But it
Talk to
does
ourselves.
motivate us to keep going and doing it.
So,
Yep.
that's right. So, as far as it goes, I think we'll be here next week, 9 p.m. If that changes, we'll let people know on our discords.
Yep. Busted
Um,
Discord for you, HeroQuest fans for me.
that's right.
Yep.
If I plan on streaming again or get back on that, that'll also be another notification. For now, I'm currently on a hiatus just due to the fact that Twitch is being a jerk, and I have just been really busy private with my personal life. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, but besides that, take it away, Kurgan. You can lead us off whenever you're ready.
All right. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Well, thanks guys for another successful episode of the Rantcast. Yep. And we got, of course, check out StrangeBus stuff at twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus and on YouTube, TheStrangeBus with the cool little logo. And you can check out my stuff, HeroQuest fans on Discord, of course, and XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube, and twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans on Twitch. And we're both on Spotify, the Rantcast podcast. Those usually take a little bit of time to convert over and put up, but we'll get those up there as soon as we can. And you can enjoy the audio when you're traveling around or wherever as you're drifting off to sleep. Rantcast. It's like you're just about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden, Rantcast. You're ah. So maybe mute it right at the end. Yeah.
Ah!
Ah. It's like an alarm clock. All right. Good night, guys, and we'll get our music to play us out.
Catch you guys later.
Rantcast.